Hi guys, this is skittflash here, and welcome to story time on Tweewee. In this part, I'm gonna be doing nothing but reading the secret reports that I've gotten throughout Shiki's entire week. So feel free to leave if you want. As a common knowledge, all games in the UG take place under our supervision. However, this particular game is saddled with high expectations because this is such an important game. This guy is gonna be writing reports in them because it has to do with Shibuya's destruction, the composer's absence, his limiting powers, and the game his proxy. The composer has informed me of two major points: that he just plans to destroy the RG, if he wins the game. Oh, only the UG? I didn't even know that. A provisional rule for this game requires that he has to go out of the underground. This has never been done before because he has to lower his frequency. His vibe. That's something that they sort of bring up in the after reports. If I'm going too fast, because I'm going too fast even for myself, you can just pause the video and read this stuff. It's all interesting stuff. It means lingering in the UG to author reports carries a lethal risk. He has a chance of getting his ass kicked, whoever's writing this. I commend you. And the composer picked a hand-picked proxy, Neku, of course. Right now they're just explaining this stuff we already know. And pins. Pin has to do with imagination. So, your ability to use pins is based on imagination. They don't really explain that, but, it works. And, he lowered his vibe, too. That just means that they're going to, lower planes. I think they explain it later. The possibility of forestalling his plans with the UG. So that's day one. This is gonna be so out of there. The game was set to end. He felt a burst of soul, so the composer picked Neku. Joshua picked Neku, of course. And his soul is just tapered off, as in he's a loner. For now, suffice to say, it's the energy he bears with him. He has a high amount of imagination. That's why he can wield all the pins. His unstable soul is a result from him being a loner, his emotional confusion, his memory loss due to entry fee, and, however, anyone possessing such a diverse soul has a high power of imagination. I could really just get by on reading the red stuff and that would work. Why it takes 15 minutes, I have no idea. And Shibuya's fate rests on how well he can deal with his social problems. We're screwed. So he gave him the harmonizer pin, remember we got a long time ago, that can only work, if he work with others. And so, if he wants to survive, he'll have to work well with others. That is what we use to fight the final boss when you think about it. So, allow me to define the composer's role. The composer just he frickin' owns the place. He's the only one who can change the composition of the UG. He makes all the rules of the UG, how the game works, what it does, just the whole UG in general, which is, again, a different plane of existence. Without the composer, though, the place just... Oh wait, never mind. They haven't explained that yet. And if you beat the composer, you become the new composer. But now the composer's out, he's gone, the rules are invalid. There are no rules, Things just fall apart. The only person who knows about this is Kitaniji, Joshua, and the producer, whoever that is. Well, I think they've explained by this point that it's Mr. Hanakoma, because they flat out said that I gave him the harmonizer pin. The producer's role is guardian. The producer does what the producer does. He can adjust the frequency of his vibe, they're going to be saying that a lot, to visit other planes. Think of it like a radio. Yes, again. So, however, he can't give away his secret. The producer must stay secret from the RG, so they don't even know who the producer is. And no one even knows who the composer is. He may talk to the producer, and that's the composer. These things are complicated as I swear, these secret reports bring up more questions than they actually answer. So the UG exists to judge the worth of men. It's a filtering system. Again, that's what the Reaper game is, to test the worth of men. However, something interesting, it's not quite what you think it would be. Upon becoming a Reaper, one's physical body becomes frickin' awesome. You become strengthful and, you live forever. How lovely. So as Reaper, a player, their soul is, I'm pretty sure over here it says imagination-driven combat. That just sounds kooky. As Reapers execute the game, they undergo a process of evolution. So that's just, promotion. That's not evolution. That's just kind of how things work. So they're trying to explain code. It's just soul is the thing that defines everyone. Everyone's made out of soul and code, and this game is so wacky and, so interesting and has their own concepts of life and everything. So again, if you want to read these, you can pause it because I know I'm going through this way too fast in retrospect. Variations of code, manifest in different forms. There's humans, reapers, and noise. What are noise? Entities without will. They're pretty much exactly what Heartless are. They thirst for soul, just like Heartless thirst for hearts. Again, soul is consumed by noise is destroyed. Again, that's why when you kill someone, when you kill noise, you get a rush of euphoria. What a rush, as Shiki would say. Apparently. They don't really explain that, but apparently that happens. Day 5. The Rio Grande and Yuji are on different planes of existence, but they're on the same place. They're parallel, and to travel between them, you change the frequency of your vibe, which they've explaining. Going from a lower plane to a higher plane is simple, while going from a higher plane to a lower plane, no. Going from the RG to the UG is simple because they're closer together, but going from frickin' heaven, which is the higher plane, is harder. More distant planes show greater difference in vibe frequencies, thus communication becomes more difficult. That's what I just said. The UG is just above the RG, so tuning in between those planes isn't too hard. Noise are on a special plane, which is why you go into battle mode when you fight them. I guess that's their their cop-out for trying to explain that. Yeah. So, in other words, players are forcibly tuned into noise when you fight them. Controversially, there exists an even higher plane from the RG and the UG. That's where the angels are from. The angels have created the solar system. The role of the producer is just one cog of the angel machine. Angels' vibes are extremely high frequency, not even the composer. So there are people in this universe even stronger than the composer. So isn't that just interesting? A lot of this stuff is honestly sequel bait if you ask me. And they're talking about the Reaper's decal. Reaper's decal forcibly change your vibe so you can actually go to the RG, which is why we're able to be visible in shops. So when we actually go into shops, what we're doing is just changing our vibe so we can go into shop, because our vibe is set to the frequency of the UG, and then we set it to the frequency of the RG. And inspiration, they're talking about Inception, of course. So they're just talking about imprinting and Reaper Creeper, two things that aren't very important, but they're doing it anyways because, I'm sure there's one person in the world just wondering, like, how the hell does imprinting work? I need to know, because that was just the biggest part of the story. Well, I guess it was. That was Kitaniji's plan, the entire basis of his plan, so what am I saying? I can't believe I've been talking about freaking text for 7 minutes. He receives periodic communication from the composer, of course. They're always chatting on their phone, of course. And, the producer is allowed to interfere with, Kitaniji's game. He's allowed to give him items and, his increased phone functionality. Today, the proxy's partner, Shiki Misaki, if you remember, day 6, right? Yeah, day 6. She freed herself from envy. And now, her confidence was all because of good old Neku. So, Neku's actually growing, so that's what he's writing about. Normally, the composer has this awesome foresight, he can see into the frickin' future, but because he had to go to the UG, a lot of things happened to him. For one, he lost his future abilities, he changed his outward appearance, he looks younger, which is why, he went from God mode to good old Joshua. To begin with, the composer contacts Reapers only through the conductor, yeah, so most Reapers have never even seen the frickin' conductor, the composer, so they don't even know what he looks like. And some, because the composer, I just think, is so badass, some people can't even see him. So, the reason this is because the higher plane is such a, normally, going from the UG to the RG is, painless, you just, not that much, but going from the higher plane to the RG, well, that's a bigger leap in vibe, so, that's why that happens. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I am just, I don't know what's going on, but this is the last one. As the composer predicted, the Procty won the game, luckily. So what happens to people who survive the week? Well, they break into the souls and become Reapers. And those the even more awesome people become Angels. That's what they are. Diligent Reapers too may become even, higher Reapers. Or the composer even, if they, choose to be ballsy. How well did that work for show? But what if someone wants to become reincarnated? Just, of course, because they're not really dead, they just, are just different soul code. If you want, they can be brought back, and people don't. They actually like that because their imagination will influence others, with art, music, and others' output. Unless, of course, they don't do that. But in the absence of the composer, reincarnation is not an option. So that whole time Neku was fighting for a second chance, he wasn't gonna get one at all. That wasn't even a chance. They were just lying to him the whole time. So the one thing out of all these secret reports that I find interesting for Shiki's week. So, you know, only the composer has the level of imagination to reincarnate. It's the conductor can't do it. He's full of shit. The conductor's pretending to act like the composer's there, but he's not. Also, a beat went missing, because that's a thing. Remember when that happened? Again, if it wasn't painfully obvious, this was written by Mr. Hanekoma, and this is what, you know, the events of the day. Beat ran away with the rhyme pin that Hanekoma gave him. It's filled with special imagination, and imprinted with instructions for how to use it. It doesn't influence the game, right? I mean, he only tried to kill me a few times, but whatever. It's not. The outcome would still be the same, right? So yes, that's all the secret reports. That's been 10 minutes of me talking. Maybe I should just no. So this will be a separate part, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I'll talk to the league, of course, and decide it. So until then, the part's been over for a while now, hasn't it? So until then, thank you for watching if you even made it this far. Again, to ramble on even more, I don't know why. There should be game going on in the background. I'm wasting precious time. But, you know, if you wanted to watch the after game just for the secret reports, this is the part. If you wanted to not watch the secret reports, then sorry. And if you didn't want to watch either of the game, you didn't want any after game, well, then there's always Sonic to go to. So how about that? So again, until then, this has been skittflash, and the next part will be doing Joshua's secret report, getting Joshua's week's secret reports. But until then, this has been skittflash. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Bye!